It's been said before that Superman is a love story, and throughout the Man of Steel's many iterations, this rings true. A Clark Kent usually has his Lois Lane, who inspires and/or challenges him. The newest Superman film stars David Corenswet and Rachel Brosnahan as the iconic couple, joining a legacy that stretches all the way back to 1948. Lois is a beloved character in her own right, as an ambitious journalist with an attitude that challenges Clark's farm boy upbringing. Her basic character traits have persisted throughout the years, with each actress who played her bringing something different to the table but not always in a way that is accurate to the comics. As such, here are all 9 live-action versions of Lois Lane ranked by comic accuracy. 9. Kate Bosworth. First appeared in Superman Returns, 2006. After a nearly 20-year absence from the big screen, Superman Returns brought the Man of Steel back. Alongside Brandon Routh's Superman, Kate Bosworth took on the role of Lois. The biggest issue here is that Bosworth's Lois was meant to be the same iteration as Margot Kidder's but older. Meanwhile, the actress was only 23 years old. Coupling this with her storyline as a mother to Superman's son, this casting choice is confusing at best. Moreover, Routh was also only in his 20s, yet her other love interest, James Marston, was 10 years her senior. All of these factors play into Lois looking and acting visibly younger. Aside from Bosworth's casting, this Lois was relegated to more of a damsel in distress role, with her primary function in the film as an unattainable love interest for Clark and a mother. Her performance is nothing to write home about and does little to recall the fiery Lois, but not all of that is Bosworth's fault. Noel Neill. First appeared in Superman, 1948. Noel Neill as Lois Lane and Kirk Alyn as Clark Kent in Superman. The very first live-action Lois Lane, Noel Neill, was a softer take on the journalist. She was gentler than the later characterization that was popularized by Phyllis Coates and Margot Kidder. Nonetheless, she was a dedicated journalist with a strong inclination to pursue justice. A big standout moment for Neill's Lois was when the character wrote an editorial to encourage high voter turnout. Her take on Lois was particularly popular, especially with young female fans. Interestingly, she played Lois in the 1948 film serial Superman and its sequel, Atom Man vs. Superman, before later taking over the role in Adventures of Superman from its second season onwards after Coates declined to return. Her legacy was honored through cameos in both Superman, the movie in 1978 and Superman Returns in 2006. Phyllis Coates first appeared in Superman and the Mole Men, 1951. George Reeves' Phyllis Coates glam shot. Before Neill took over as George Reeves' Lois Lane, Coates filled the role in Superman and the Mole Men and Adventures of Superman's first season. She was more of a go-getter than Neill's version, often attempting to outdo Clark in reporting big news stories. Coates' Lois is more similar to how she is portrayed in modern versions. Her reckless nature did often land her in trouble, leading Superman to swoop in and save the day, but this actually lends itself to a more accurate depiction relative to the comics. Sadly, Coates ultimately chose not to renew her contract in order to pursue other projects and avoid typecasting. Coates went into semi-retirement for a while to raise her children. However, she did eventually return to Superman media. In 1994, she starred as Lois' mother in Lois and Clark, The New Adventures of Superman. Amy Adams first appeared in Man of Steel, 2013. Amy Adams as Lois Lane in The Jew. Amy Adams is an extremely talented actress. However, her version of Lois in the DC Extended Universe ultimately didn't strike a chord in the same way as prior portrayals. She debuted in Man of Steel as a journalist investigating a Kryptonian ship who gets caught up in the conflict between Superman and General Zod. Decidedly less feisty, Adams retains the character's ambition and drive to put herself in harm's way to get a story. Unfortunately, as the DCEU progressed, Lois became decreasingly relevant aside from being a love interest. She is brave, but this comes across less as grit and determination than dedication to Superman. While this is somewhat accurate to the comics, modern Lois is typically more involved as a result of her own career instead of solely to aid Clark. Even with some of the worst elements of her characterization, Adams is a solid performer who puts in the work every time, and that sets her apart. Bitsy Tulloch first appeared in Supergirl, 2015. Superman and Lois. Tyler Hoechlin and Bitsy Tulloch walk beside each other smiling. First appearing in Supergirl then becoming a co-lead in Superman and Lois, Bitsy Tulloch has a unique niche among Lois actresses. She is the only live-action version of the character to significantly explore the character once she is married to Clark and has teenage children. Additionally, Superman and Lois takes the interesting direction of moving her career from the Daily Planet to the Smallville Gazette. Her journalism remains a driving force of the show's conflict, though a lot of her storylines instead revolve around motherhood and the struggles of married life.